In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use your Ubiquiti Wi-Fi network to solve coverage issues for T-Mobile and AT&T. This is going to take less than 10 minutes. It works immediately and securely with every AT&T and T-Mobile device for you or anyone that visits your home or office. There's nothing to configure. There's no password to share. It's automatic, it's seamless, and it's secure. You can get this working by the time this video is done by using SignalRoam. Let me jump into it. All right, so the first thing you need if you're going to do this is some Ubiquiti equipment. Right now, we've got a small little network set up here in my house. I've got my Cloud Gateway Ultra connected to a USW Lite and then over to a U7 Pro. We need to make sure that we follow the recommended updates, especially with the release notes. So we've checked the release notes. We see that it requires 7.0.63 or newer. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to update our system. Very simple to do. Just go down here into settings, go into your system, look at your updates, make sure everything's checked for early release candidates. It is. We should be good to go. We're running 7.059 on one and 7.0.47 on another. But what we want to do is go in and we can see quick, if you just click on control plane, you can see how you update that network. This is showing official release channels. We're going to go ahead and hit early access channels, hit apply, let it run, a little check there. Make sure that we're current and we're up to date on all of our firmwares so that we can take advantage of this. All right, so while that's doing that, let's go ahead and take a look at what Passpoint is. How does this whole thing work? Now, one of the best papers done on this was actually done by Aruba, solving the indoor wireless coverage problem using Passpoint Wi-Fi calling. This is a great paper. You can find it online. I'll throw a link in the comments down here. But it's a great paper, and it talks a little bit about the way that Passpoint works. Essentially, what happens is your phone roams onto a network, and this is a way to automatically and securely authenticate a device using a preset of credentials. And in this case, what we're doing is we're using the SIM card from the device to communicate back to the carrier and verify and validate that device so it creates a secure WPA2 encrypted 802.1x certificate-based authentication mechanism for your device on that network. What that translates to is it basically works really well and really fast. But the key to all of this, there's some really cool features to it. And again, this will walk you through the whole process. But ANQP is really the key here. What it does is that your phone will automatically recognize that there's a T-Mobile or an AT&T Passpoint network available. And a lot of the times, if you're on an iPhone, it will just automatically connect. On an Android phone, sometimes it'll automatically connect. Sometimes you've got to go in and just tap the button. And when you tap it, you don't have to enter any credentials. You don't have to do any security. You don't have to share a key. You don't have to get a password. You just tap it, and it immediately authenticates based on the SIM card in the device, and you're online. It's very quick. It's very simple, and it's absolutely secured. So this is a quick overview of the way it works. If you get a chance, check out the Aruba document. Now let's go back and see if our software has been updated.
A few moments later.
All right, looks like our network is back online. Everything seems to be operating, so let's go ahead and go into our unified devices here. We see our U7 Pro. Click to update. Fantastic. That's what we want to do. We're going to go ahead and apply this, and we're going to push it to 7.1.18, which again, if you look at the release notes, we needed 7.0.63 or better. We're subscribed to the early access channel, so we're going to go ahead and push that update. While we're there, let's go ahead and update the switch. Might as well have some fun right there. And in just a few minutes here, it's going to be updated, and then we can start the configuration for Passpoint. It looks like everything is updated the way that it should be. The U7 Pro is online, and now we need to go in and we need to configure our settings. And so the way that this works is basically there's a couple different ways you can do it. The way that I'm going to do it is we're going to create a separate VLAN with a separate DHCP scope specifically for the devices that are connected, and then we're going to tie that to that SSID, the new wireless network that we're going to create. But we have to create the radius connection, and that's the connection that allows the devices to actually authenticate with the carrier and turn around and allow them on our network in a secure way. And the way that we do that is we go in and we look at our profiles, and then we go into the radius settings, and we're going to create a new radius setting. Now, this profile is going to be specific to me and specific to my network, so I'm going to hide some of the things that are in here, but that's okay. Give me 1 second. Let me set this up. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and filled out this information specific to me. Now, this is very important because what I'm putting in here might not work for you, especially if you don't have my credentials. So I'm going to go ahead and name this SignalRoam, and this is going to be the radius assignment here. I'm going to allow it for the wireless networks. I've got my information for IP address and port numbers, again, specific, and my secret that allows me to authenticate to that. And this is for authentication and accounting. You want to make sure that both are enabled, and my interim updates are about 600 seconds. So I want to make sure that that's set. Go ahead and hit apply. And what this has done is this has enabled SignalRoam as a radius profile. Now, I need to go back. I need to build out this network in order to apply that radius profile for security settings to it. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new virtual network, and we're going to go ahead and call this one SignalRoam as well, if I can type it out, and we're going to apply it to our cloud gateway. Make sure I spell that correctly. And we're going to go ahead and give it a subnet. That's fine. We'll give it 254 addresses. Subnet mask is 24. You can really give it whatever size you want. We actually recommend the bigger, the better, depending on the size of the environment that you're in. So if you know you're going to have a lot of people connecting to it, you want to make sure that your IP address pool is capable of supporting everyone that's in there. We're going to leave the settings as they are. We'll make it VLAN 2. That's fine. Content filtering, we're not going to filter anything on here. DHCP services are going to be running. We're just going to go ahead and add this network. Very simple to do. And so SignalRoam is now VLAN 2. Now, let's go into our Wi-Fi settings, and we're going to create a new Wi-Fi network here, and we're going to call this one SignalRoam as well. Now, the password to this, we don't fill anything in here, but we're going to tie it to the network SignalRoam that we just created. We're going to put it on a specific group of access points. Well, I guess we can't here because this is there's only one AP connected to it. We only need one AP. Advanced, we're going to, instead of setting it with auto, we're going to go into manual, and you can see the option here for hotspot 2.0, and we'll configure that here in just a second. But the rest of the settings, we're going to go ahead and we're going to change it. We're going to disable 2.4 and we're going to disable 6 gigahertz. We're only going to broadcast on 5 gigahertz for now. We're not going to push 2.4 because the signal quality can get a little weird on 2.4, and we want to make sure that our clients have a good, solid, steady connection when they're accessing this network. We're going to leave it at 5 gig. Where band steering is going to shut itself off by default. BSS transition is going to be great. We're going to go ahead and leave the rest of this the way that it is, but we're going to scroll down to security protocol. Right now it says WPA2 or WPA3. What we need is WPA2 Enterprise. And when we do that, that's going to give us the ability to choose our radius profile that we created. So the radius profile is going to be SignalRoam, and we're going to change. We're just going to go ahead and leave the rest of this the way that it's supposed to be. We're going to add this network here. Now, once this network is added, you can see it set up. We're going to click on it, and we're going to go back in, and let's edit these Passpoint settings. All right, for the Passpoint settings, we're going to tick off the deal there. It says Passpoint. The venue name, we're going to call this one, let's call it SignalRoam Lab Drew. Sounds fantastic to me. And the venue type, you want to make sure that you choose the type of office this is, that it is, whether it's a business office, education, institutional. This is great for the reporting information component of it. We're going to change this to business other. It's my home office. The network type, this is going to be a free public network. You can change it to test or experimental, wildcard. I'm going to go ahead and leave this on so my neighbors can, when they come inside my house, my friends come over, they can use it. Free public network. IPv4, this is going to be a single NATed private IPv4 normally is what you would do. But in my case here at my house, the way that I have this set up today is a double NATed IPv4. So that might change a little bit of the way the IP addressing works. But for the most part, you're always going to want to leave single NATed private IPv4 unless it's a public IP. The NAI realm, so these are some settings that I'm going to add to it. We need to make sure that the settings match whatever configuration or whatever service you're working with will give you these settings. So if you work with SignalRoam, we'll go ahead and provide these settings to you, and we will set it up. So let me go into my settings over here on my computer so I can copy and paste them. A couple of different things here. 1 second, we're going to change it. The thing that you have to look at here that makes a lot of this work is the way that you're doing the authentication for it. So you need to add an NAI realm, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to call this one SignalRoam as well, and we need to choose the method. Here we're using EAP-TTLS, and then we're going to do MS-Chat v2. We're going to go ahead and hit save, and so that's going to be the way that it authenticates to the network. And we're going to look at our roaming consortium list down here, and this is pretty important because this is the group that you're a part of. And for SignalRoam, everybody has their own key for their roaming consortium list, and we want to make sure that we add that. This basically says here are the ones here's a list of all the networks that we can talk to, or here's the provider that allows us to communicate with these other networks. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in some of the domain names that we're going to be connecting to. So I'm just copying and pasting these in here. I say copy pasted too much, right? So we're going to go ahead and add Primnet in there. We're going to go ahead and add t-mobile.com in there, and we're going to go ahead and add att.com. Now, a lot of people ask why Verizon isn't included. They're not doing this yet. They haven't jumped on board with allowing people to use Passpoint with Verizon. Hopefully they will soon. We're hearing that might be 2025, so that'll be great. But that's where you configure the domain list. These are the list of domains that you want it to be able to access for authentication and for configuration, and an operator friendly name of where we are. We're going to go call this SignalRoam Drew's office. Let's call it that. We're not going to report any of the WAN metrics right now, but we can, which would be pretty cool. We're going to allow ICMP traffic on there, TCP and UDP traffic also. We're going to allow both those no matter which port, and that is the bulk of it. Now, this is the fun part. This is where we add what are called MCNs and MCCs. And in here, this allows us for the mobile network name and the country or carrier code. And so we have to add these specific to the groups that we're working with. In this case, it's AT&T and T-Mobile. So we're going to go ahead and populate these. It's going to take a second to do it. Here, let me show you what one of these looks like. It's the last one. You can see I punched in a bunch of them, but let me add one real quick. What you do is you put the 2-letter country code in there, or the country name. You put in the country code. In the US, it's 1. That's where our carrier is. And our MCC is going to be 310, and our MNC is going to be 150. Now, you might be wondering what that means, so I'll show you. If you look up MCC-MNC, this shows you the mobile country codes and the mobile network codes. And if you look in here for, let's say, the one that we just saw, 310-150, I don't know if it'll give you both. There it is, 310-150. This is US, United States of America, country code 1. This is AT&T Mobility. And so if you look at this list, this is a list of all the the MCCs and MNCs from around the world, and you can see what they are. Basically, what this does is this allows the network to beacon out what these MCCs and MNCs are so that the phones know that they can connect to it. It's kind of like a way of showing a friendly SSID. So now that all of those are in there, this is our entire configuration set up for Hotspot 2.0. It should be working immediately. We're going to go ahead and hit Apply Changes. And what this is going to do, it's going to push it. Whoops, forgot to say IPv6 unavailable. We're going to go ahead and apply changes. And now that's been applied. So there's an SSID now being broadcast on my network called SignalRoam. And that SSID will be immediately accessible by any AT&T and T-Mobile subscriber. That's it. That really is all the configuration that you have to do. It seems like a lot, but it's also a little. And the way that it works is actually pretty incredible. I'm going to take a look at my network list here on my computer and see if I can see it broadcasting yet. Give me 1 second. I can see it broadcasting. And so now I'm going to take my fancy phone here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to take this fancy phone that I have. This is my AT&T flip phone right here. And I'm going to see if it's if I can see the SignalRoam name being broadcast on this specific network. It only takes a second. Let me make sure everything's set up. Yes, this is good to go. And let me hit Apply Change. There we go. All right, everything should be set. And let's see here. When I open it up, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this when I'm on the camera here. But once I open it up, you'll see that on my menu and on my settings, my wireless network is available. I see Wi-Fi that's on there. It's got Control 4. It's got some of the other ones I have on there. And down at the bottom, eventually, it's going to populate here, and it'll show me SignalRoam. And when it does, my phone will just immediately connect to that, which is pretty awesome. And when it does that, I can make any phone call, I can receive any text messages, and it works just the way that it's supposed to. Now, furthermore, whenever someone comes over to my house, if it's someone, oh, there it goes. It's connecting right there. It's running, connecting, and connected. We're good to go. It's pretty awesome the way that works. So when someone comes over to my house, it's just going to work. They're going to walk in my front door and their phone's just going to immediately connect to my network safely, securely using those Radius credentials. And it's going to be set up the way that it's supposed to. It's going to work the way that it's supposed to. They're not going to have any way to know what's going on. And I can go and I can look at my network and see what's happening here. If I go back to my dashboard and I look at my unified devices on my U7 Pro, if I click into it, I can see a number of different devices that are connected to it. So on Wi-Fi, that's running. Let's take a look at clients. Here we go. TCT Mobile. You can see my phone connected to the U7 Pro. SignalRoam is the Wi-Fi name it's connected to. I had to enable 2.4 gig because it's an old phone, but it is running on 2.4 here. Processing 5 down, 944 up. Experience is great. You can see all the information that you would imagine from my phone that's connected to SignalRoam, and it's working the way that it's supposed to. And this will solve those coverage problems inside houses where they might live out on the outskirts of town, or they might live outside of a tower coverage area. This now enables the existing home Wi-Fi network to work the way that it's supposed to get people online. So that's it. That means that now your network, your Ubiquiti network, is able to onboard immediately devices from AT&T and T-Mobile and any of their mobile virtual network operators. That means like Cricket or Boost Mobile or Mint, whoever it is. You can run a search and you can see a list of all the MVNOs that work with those operators. But when someone walks inside your house, their phone is just going to automatically connect. It's really, really cool. It's safe. It's secure. It works the way that it's supposed to. It's instantaneous when it happens. And when it does, no one's going to know the difference. They're just going to know that they go over to your house and their cell phone is going to work the way that it's supposed to. And a cool party trick is tell them, hey, look at your phone real quick. And they open it up and you look at the Wi-Fi name and it says SignalRoam and it's automatically connected. Didn't have to share a key, didn't have to share a password, didn't have to share credentials. That's SignalRoam. That's Passpoint running on Ubiquiti Wi-Fi on the U7. If you need more information, visit us at signalroam.com. Drop me a message, drop me a DM. We've got residential plans starting at $40 a month that you can have this running inside your home, but we mainly focus on commercial and enterprise. Visit signalroam.com. We have a whole sheet, a schedule of rates that are on there. But again, if you have any questions about the functionality or anything, please feel free to reach out. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to a bunch of subscribers, so my wife will take me to Mexico. And don't forget to tune in to the Waves podcast at thewirelesspodcast.com. So Waves podcast happens every week. We publish. You can get it where podcasts are available. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed this. Leave some comments in the comment section below if you have any questions. Thanks for listening.